Good morning. Um, yes, today is Sunday, and no, it's not 12 in the afternoon. It's actually early morning. Um, and I decided to come on quite early to talk about a topic today. I have been up since 5 a.m. Yesterday was very emotional, I'll say. Um, there was a lot going on. And that kind of brings me to today. Um, and of course, I titled this Abuse, um, and it's not to be silenced. I don't even remember what I titled it, but it's basically, I'm basically trying to say abuse should not be silent. I know there are a lot of times when something is going on, victims are told to not talk about it. Don't say anything about this. Just let the past be the past, or you know you're only gonna make it worse. No, 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 you should talk about it. You should be able to tell someone that you trust, someone that you see that could probably help you or get you the help that you need. um if you're in a situation, if you know of a situation, um most of the times abusers aren't going to really seek out professional help or just any kind of help. So it is kind of hard for a victim, especially with limited resources and depending on the victim, especially children. Now, yeah, guidance counselors are supposed to be there, teachers and nurses and everything, and those professional people have taken an oath to report or assist. But some situations, has the victim in a mindset of this is how it's supposed to be, this is how it's going to be. um and that's not it. That's not it. That's not how it's supposed to be. That's not a way to express positive emotions or positive feelings toward another individual. And abuse can be in all kinds of forms. But either way, if it makes you feel bad, if it makes you sad, if it stresses you out, especially if it physically harms you, it's not good for you. That person's not good for you. That situation is not good for you. You have to understand and know that this is wrong. Even if it feels good as a child, some children are approached in a way that of this is a game. Let's play this game. And depending on the age, it may be like it may feel good. It may or it just may feel weird. It's not really a bad feeling, but it's like I never felt that before. It's all bad. Because that person that's doing that, especially if it's an adult, knows better. If it's another child doing that to a child, then something is going on. And then I know children don't understand, and they feel like, well, we're the same age, we're playing a game. Someone may be abusing that child, and so that child is acting out what's happening to them. It's so much that goes on, and people handle it differently. People handle the situations differently when they try to seek out revenge or get justice, so to speak. You know, I feel like that's why we have to open ourselves up and stay in tune to this our heavenly Father, because he gives us insight on situations where we can really avoid those things, or we can really be proactive in, you know, creating a solution, and dealing with the after effects of that sort of abuse. Because growing up in that situation, becoming an adult, it carries itself with you on into each journey you take. It carries itself with you. You know, for me, I was abused as a child. Um, when I became an adult and I met this one individual, I felt like, okay, this person cares about me. This person is not going to hurt me. And this person listens to what I have gone through as far as abuse, the abuse that I have experienced. Um, you know, it was kind of like a wow. But then to be abused by that individual, that was a whole other world that you know what? No, it wasn't a whole nother world. It was a world that I thought I had escaped, but I was really digging myself deeper into. So yes, if this is not dealt with when the child is young, um, it will carry over, and either they can become the abuser or they'll be the abused. They'll continue to be the abused. There's so many resources out there, and so many, hotlines, I guess you'll call, can say that you can call to get assistance, to let somebody know what's going on, what's happening to you. A lot of victims don't want to get their abuser in trouble. So that's a part of the continued abuse. That's a part of the continued manipulation. When someone feels like they got you to the point where you're not going to tell anybody because you're afraid of what they'll do. You're afraid of their reaction or their response. Especially with young people in these relationships that they're putting themselves in, mimicking adult relationships. It's growing so rapid to the point where they think it's the normal. They think it's okay. Even if they didn't grow up in a home that was abusive, that they, secondhand experienced that abuse. When they get in these teenage relationships, or what people call puppy love relationships, and it happens to them, they feel like, or their mates feel like, this is okay. It's because I love you. Why do you make me so mad? You know I care about you. No. I know parents tell children, don't have sex before you're married. Don't get too serious in a relationship while you're young. And they even reinforce that information through biblical teaching. I'm not saying that's wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. You do it how you feel the need to do it. But at the same time, I stand behind the no sex before marriage, because I understand why they've told us that. I have to find my numbers. I didn't get them out, but they're, it's me. It's just me. I'm just talking. But yes, I stand behind that, because I mean, I'm not one to say God says, but I mean, yeah, God's word is true, and we should follow his principles that He's given us. But there's reasons He's given them to us. No sex before marriage is because you don't find yourself in a situation that makes your life harder than it already has to be. You don't find yourself with a situation that you have to live with for the rest of your life that may possibly take your life. It's not that, you know, he wants to strip you of that strip you of the beauty that's in it. That's not that. He wants you to enjoy it. He wants you to enjoy being in a relationship. He wants you to enjoy having sex. He wants you to enjoy motherhood. But how can you enjoy motherhood properly if you become a mother at a young age? You still have to finish school. You still have to learn who you are while teaching someone who they are. That's not an easy thing to do. It's already not easy when you think you're prepared for this, and now, you know, you find out that, oh, it's a lot more difficult than what I'm think that I prepared my then I have prepared myself for. So yes, the no sex before marriage is for young adults and for adults. I mean, the same. It's true because it keeps us out of a lot of trouble. And some of us, myself included, act as if, oh, I just can't live without it. That's a lie. I can live without it. It's just something that I feel like I want. But the thing is, by me wanting that, then I find myself in other situations that I didn't want to be in. So I have to deal with it. I have to deal with it. I'm an adult. So to think a teenager to would say, no, you shouldn't make your life any harder than it has to be. Because trust me, there are going to be some situations and issues that are going to come up. You're going to have to struggle through. You're going to have to, tough it out. But being a child, you need to be a child. Enjoy your childhood. You shouldn't have to struggle with preparing a child before school and then trying to work and trying to find daycare and a babysitter and deal with co-parenting if co-parenting is an option, because some people just give up their responsibilities as a parent, give up their responsibilities for the seed that they've planted or the seed that they've birthed. It's unfortunate for the abused to have to deal with the after effects of their abuse. um it's all kinds of situations people have to deal with, but we need to the main thing I want to say today is it should not be silenced. You don't have to quiet yourself. You don't have to allow anybody to quiet you. You always have a choice to open your mouth and to ask for help, even if it's there are many ways that you can get help without your abuser being in the midst of it. I mean, they're in the midst of it, but I'm saying, like, I've been in situations where when I've tried to call for assistance, the phone was snatched or tore up, broken into pieces. So, yes, there are ways you can just be slick about it. Um, Things that you can do to let others in the public know that you're in trouble, that you need assistance, places that you can go to hide. There are programs, but the only way these programs will work if you're dedicated to removing yourself from that situation, for being unless because it's sad for a person to, I don't want to say be so careless, but for a person to leave and then be tricked into coming back, and then something more terrible happens. They lose their life, or there is a self-defense law, but some of those situations still fall into the category of guilty. A woman, I remember a case, was being abused. just being abused, and she was fed up and shot her abuser. But she was sentenced as if it was a malicious crime. I wouldn't say it was malicious. I was saying she was fighting for her life. I was saying that was her only escape from her abuser. I thought of plenty of escape routes. I thought of plenty of things that, but the thing is, just get out and stay out. Make up in your mind to get away from the situation, to get out of the situation and stay out of the situation. Okay, the situation that brought me to today. We as mothers, I'm a mother, and I'm talking to fellow mothers. Not all of you, but the ones. And you know what? The thing is, some parents, some mothers and fathers, I'm going to say parents, don't even realize what's really going on, because I don't know if it's out of desperation, but I know for one, I'm not that desperate. I'm not currently in a romantic, committed relationship. I want to say committed. I do have a person that I'm going to say had an agreement, but they were no way disrespectful, and especially to my children. I didn't even allow a situation like that to arise, because I tried to keep my children in a positive environment. Not saying this environment was, but just in a positive environment, safe. Let them know that they're loved in an environment that's concerned about them. So I'm not that desperate to be with anybody to allow my children to be in a position where another person, an adult, will put their hands on them in any kind of way. Any kind of way. If it's not to help pull them up, build them up, encourage them, or anything. If it's to manipulate them, harm them, that person don't know me too well. Nobody wants to deal with my attitude. The type of attitude that I have. The type of blind revenge that I have. Nobody wants to deal. People that know me, they don't want to deal with that. So I'm just going to talk to the mothers. But this goes for fathers, single fathers, or if your children say to you, you're in a relationship with the individual, and they say to you, I don't like being around him or her, that's really all you need to have a conversation. That's a conversation starter right there. You can take it from there. I'm not going to get deep into what that conversation entails, but it can entail anything. Now, some children just to come up and just be like, I don't like them because I don't want you around anybody, or some the things that those type children that just don't want anybody else around. But you have to investigate. You have to ask why, and it will come to you. People on the outside can always see something that we can't see, that when we're in a situation. That's what I admire about my oldest child. She's so wise. It's wisdom beyond, I don't know. So she'll say something to me, and I'm an adult, so of course I'm an adult like you, a child. But I'll listen to her, and she makes so much sense. And 9 times out of 10, she's right. She's very correct on what she says, and her delivery. Most of the time, her delivery is positive. I mean, I know everything she says is positive, but her delivery is not like, that's what my mom used to tell me when I was younger. You're saying the right thing, you're saying it in the wrong way. So I had to learn how to tone myself down and not be so blunt, or, with what I was saying. So, I can remember a friend that I had met, and I started spending time with them. And my oldest told me, Mom, be careful because you know how you get attached. She told me that. And at first I was like, okay, whatever. But I listened to her so that I would not get so attached, because I will get attached. If I'm spending my time with you and I'm talking to you, and that's who I'm doing spending that time with, I will get attached. Where's my water? Okay. But I will get attached. So I had to listen to her. Because I'm not one of those parents who be like, oh, whatever. That's just a child. You know, me and my children's father would have a discussion, and I would, bring up to him how the children feel, what they would say, because he wasn't really around like that. So when he could, we would have a conversation. He would always say, those are kids. They don't know what they're talking about. He would always say that. And I would always be like, well, we have to consider their feelings. We have to consider their thoughts and how they, nah, no, we don't. He would say that. And I'm just like, I don't agree with that. And I still don't agree with that. I really feel like you have to consider your children, how they feel. I can try to consider my children beforehand. Everything. When I'm doing something, it seems everything wants to go wrong. Wow. Okay, so I'm just going to talk a little bit more. So yes. So if your child comes to you and says, I don't like this person, especially, let's say this, you're planning on marrying. You ignored what your child said to you. You stayed in a relationship, and it comes to the point where this person wants to take take the relationship to another level. So if you've been dating, moved in with one another, and now they want to get married. Okay. And this child is saying, I don't want you to marry this person. Why would you brush that off? Why wouldn't you question what's going on? Okay, why don't you like this person? This person does X, Y, and Z. This person is here for us. This person, blah, blah, blah. You can reason with that child all you want to, but the thing is, why does this child not want to be around this individual? Have you thought about that? I'm pretty sure you have. It has to cross your mind. Now, why does my baby not like it when so-and-so comes over? Me, I'm not going to allow so-and-so to come over until I sit down. Oh, no, me. Well, to be real with you, I talk to my children first. When I meet somebody, before I interact with them whatsoever, I'm talking to my kids about what I have, the feeling that I've gotten off of the individual. And they always, every time, for whatever reason, want to see a picture. They want to see what this person looks like. And off of looks, they'll kind of decide, okay, whether or not they want to know more about the individual. It's weird, my babies. But it has worked. It has worked because, like I say, people that aren't, in it with you just yet, they can see other things that you can't see. I include my children because ultimately the person that I'm spending my time with is also have to spend time with them, and they all have to spend time with that person. So anyways, that's my situation is besides this one, because I wouldn't even allow it get to the point where, but you never know. You never know. So, background checks are very crucial. Plug their name into the database. I mean, it's public for a reason. All you need is a first and last name. Maybe a zip code, or, the more information you have, the better. I'm a very good researcher, and I'm very good at getting information that I need on an individual. I always have been. I've always been cautious. It's just something that I think it's that self-preservation, thing that kicks in, and lets us know that we have to take care of ourselves. Or if something happens to us, or what? Who's going to know about it? You're going to be an unsolved mystery, or what? But my suggestion is just ask questions. Ask questions. I'm very inquisitive. I have always been a very inquisitive individual. People used to try to shut me down. Don't ask so many questions. You nosy or whatever. But growing older, and especially in college, is where I learned that no, you have to ask questions, because you have to know. That's how you learn. How are you going to learn if you don't ask questions? You could pretend to know, or you could just accept not knowing. But if you want to know, and if you want to be open into other possibilities, you have to ask questions. I ask questions. I love for people to ask me questions. I really do. That sounds crazy, but I will answer any question just about. If I don't want to answer it, I'll say I don't want to answer that. I don't want to talk about that. But any other question, but just about anything, I'll answer, and I'm going to answer honestly. People that know me kind of feel like, they just won't ask, because they know I will say how I feel. Even if they feel like I'm wrong or they don't agree, I'm still going to tell you how I feel, tell you what I think, give you my opinion. And I'm okay with my opinion not being agreed with. I'm okay with thinking differently. And then, because my opinion may change. But my opinion on this whole parenthood and outsiders coming in and doing things, and I don't agree with that. I do not agree with moving forward in a relationship that everybody as a unit is not on the same page. You have to at least be in the same book. And if someone is touching your children, hurting your children, you're not even in the same book. You're trying to be in a healthier book, and this person is in the pedophile book, or is in the manipulative book, or the dictatorship book. I don't know. They're in a different book. I know that. You're not in the same book. So no. And it don't even have to be that it's somebody you're dating. It could be a family member. It could be a friend of a friend. It could be anybody. Whoever is in that unit that's causing harm has to be dealt with. Whether you need to go take counseling, whether you need to call the 911, call whoever. Hopefully the coroner does not have to come out. But deal with it. Talk to your babies. Get them into programs, letting them know what true love is. And I'm not talking about that romantic love and a relationship type. No, love from within yourself and from other individuals. We all have to share love with one another, and it's just shared differently. But I can tell you, touching on somebody, hurting somebody, pinching somebody, burning somebody, that's not love. You don't burn me with a cigarette because you love me. You don't pull a gun on me because you love me. You do that stuff because something's wrong with you. Somewhere you don't love yourself. And that equates to, abuse. So no. No. We shouldn't take these things out on our children. We shouldn't say it's because of you. I'm not in a relationship. It's because of you that nobody wants to stay around. No. Take a look at yourself as an adult. Men and women. honey, people will come up with anything and everything to keep themselves from the trouble that they have caused, single-handedly have caused. Will blame it on everything and everybody, but don't take a look at themselves. They'll redirect. Give me 1 second. Ah. Okay, they will come on. All right. Okay, they will redirect. What is this? All right. But they will redirect the attention from them onto the abused. And that's the weird thing about it. You know, how can you blame the victim for being abused? Especially when it's a child. How can you blame the child for your incompetence as an adult to protect? Because we as adults, we have to protect children. Whether you like the kids or not, come on, you got to get out of that. How can you not like a child? But whatever. We have a duty to protect those babies, especially the ones that we carry. I mean, I'm not gonna allow any. When I was approached, I had promised some things, you know, on the outside, I'll say. But when I was approached yesterday, there is no way I was going to say, oh, well, I have somewhere to be, or I got something to do, you know. No, 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 no. When I'm introduced to any situation, especially with the child being abused or mistreated, I, I go into mother bear mode, I guess they would say. But I have to control myself also, because I've learned that, you know, I can't react too deeply or too sternly. I have to be, I don't really want to say professional. I just have to be, I have to listen. That's mainly what I do, is I listen. I'll make suggestions, or I will talk around it. I will conversate. But I have to listen, because children are great at saying things without saying things. Their demeanor, their responses, a lot, all most of that that tells you that something else is going on. How they react to you, how they react to something, how they respond to a thing, the things that they ask for. A lot of those are telltales. And so while I'm crying on the inside, and on the inside, I just want to maybe go and just to the person that is doing this. Of course, the individual is going to be like, no, that's not going on. But you just have to sit there and listen. Because even with the system, it's like guilty until proven innocent. Proven innocent? What more proof do you need? Yeah, I understand children. Some children lie. But all children don't lie. There are things going on behind closed doors, and sometimes out. Some people are bold enough to do these things in front of others. It's discreetly done, but it's still openly done. And it's disgusting to even think that you're in a relationship with her mom, you sleep with her mom, you're very affectionate with her mom, but you still are touching this child. Or maybe you're abusing this child. You don't like this child. Like, you have to accept this child. You've accepted the mother. Why not accept her child if it's not your child? Don't get me on the whole father. You have to decide when you work with situations like these, decide and understand that I can't attach myself too deep with these things. I'm only there when I'm asked to be there. Hopefully, God forbid, I see something happening walking down the street or in the store. But when people come to you and ask you for assistance or advice, that's exactly what you have to give them: assistance and advice. I've learned not to go too deep or to go too far, to give what I've asked for, but to give it in a way that they understand something has to be done. And if nothing gets done, you're going to be held accountable. So I'm still learning. I've come through it. And, you know, it's just sickening and saddening at the same time. And I have to keep my head on so that I can remain. I can remain. But yeah, I don't just allow those things to continue. I have to get authority involved. That's no. And it's sad that the parents, some parents just don't take charge in what's going on. You have to take charge in it. You have to be proactive. You have to ask your children questions. You have to consider them when you're making decisions that is going to impact their lives. No, a child can't tell you or shouldn't tell you what to do. But at the same time, this is their life, and they didn't ask you to give them life. They're there, though. You in sense, we in sense, asked them to be a part of our lives. We did what we had to do to get them, and we accepted them by keeping them. So it's our job to protect them. It's our job to provide for them. It's our job to give them the tools that they need to recognize what abuse is, so that they can open up and say, okay, mommy, he was rubbing my leg in a way that didn't feel comfortable. They coming. So that's all I wanted to talk about for this Sunday. I am going to continue on. I have about 10 projects that I was emailed, so I need to get started on those. And yeah, I want to talk more about this because I also need an outlet. And this is one of my many outlets. But yeah, I want you all to have a great day. Today's Sunday. Enjoy whether it's a work day, whatever. Enjoy today. Connect with your family, friends. Connect. Just connect. Just be a connection. Ask questions. Be concerned. Be considerate. And if they don't agree with you, it's all right. It's okay. Everybody's not meant to agree with you. Everybody's not meant to agree with me. But I still have to continue on and be who I have to be for myself and for those who are who are there. So have a great day.